everybody, welcome back. I'm Aletta and today we are doing another custom designs tutorial video. Today we're going to be focusing more on summer though. We're going to be doing a little sea turtle, some shells, a little blanket, some things like that. Last time we did more nature ones. We did some flowers and a bee and things like that. So if you want to check that out, I will link that below. But first things first, you will probably need to go to Resident Services and make sure you have these things unlocked. You will need the Custom Designs Pro Editor and the Custom Designs Pro Editor Plus for sure. And I also got the other ones with the same logo just in case. But yeah, that just adds a lot more tools for you to use and it makes making custom designs a lot easier. Now, these are mostly beginner friendly. I'd say some of them are a little bit more intermediate, like the turtle and the planks, but I will show you how to do it. I am definitely not a professional myself. This took me a long time. In fact, ignore this first turtle. I just wanted to show you. But yeah, I was trying to do it based off of these ones that I see other people do, and I will put that in the screen. But yeah, someone asked me in my last design tutorial video if I could do a turtle, and I thought that was a good idea. We would just do some more summer designs since it is July now. I can't believe it's already July. What is happening? But yeah, a lot of custom designs, for me at least, is trial and error. I go back and forth looking at it on the ground, back into the custom design app. So the first thing for the sea turtle, which we are starting off with, probably my favorite one out of all of these, I just do the outline, and you can see there isn't a shell on it because we will be using the shell stool recipe, so you will need that for this unless you make a shell yourself, but I think it looks a lot better with the shell here. Just pretty cute. I think the dimensions we got down now, so we are gonna go add some color in, and yeah, you can see all my little drafts right there. But yeah, we're just gonna fill in the turtle now and make it an ombre from light green to dark green from the outside in. So here I'm using that light green on the head and the fins, and then more towards the inside we're going a darker green. And I also just looked up pictures of sea turtles while I was doing this to get some inspiration as well. And of course, if you want this on a different side of the beach and you want them to be going towards the beach, you can just flip this design. I know that will be kind of tricky, but really you just copy the outline and do the same exact thing either way, or even if you want them going up or down. But yeah, we're going in with that second green color on the inside there to add more dimension. And now that we got all that ombre going, we're gonna switch to the spots. I thought we would do some brown spots here on the head and the fins. A lot of sea turtles have these, and I think it just adds a lot. We're gonna switch it to this lighter brown though. I think that dark one is too much of contrast here. And I do look back and forth from the pixel art to the little picture on the left to make sure that it's blending well, because sometimes if the colors are too close together, they will look boxy instead of blended. So just make sure to keep an eye on that if you're doing any different colors, because you can even do like a pink turtle if you want to. It doesn't have to be a natural looking one. But there we go, we got all the spots down now, and we are gonna go add some eyes here. They kind of have squished diamond eyes or triangle eyes, so I try to mimic that on the design as well. And then I took a lot of this out, but I do go back and forth with the camera here to see how it's looking, and I think it looks good, but it is sunset. I was doing this for so long, so I'm gonna go to the next day. And we actually had Derwin at the campsite, and I wanted to see who he'd asked to leave, but I did not guess the right thing, so we're just gonna move on from that, but I thought I'd add that in. But yes, I'm actually going to change the colors of the sea turtle just a little bit so you can see it a bit better on the sand. And then we are going to go in with some shading, grab a brown sandy color, and we're going to add that under the fins, especially because, you know, you got to imagine they're moving towards the water almost, or even away from the water. So you want a little bit of shadows there to add some dimension. And then the eyes were looking a bit sad to me, so I added another block there so they're actually squares instead of a little triangle. And I'm gonna add some more green in here just to, you know, add more details on there, kind of shade the spots a tiny bit almost. and I think that makes it look a little bit better here. You can spend so long adding highlights and shading, and I think that really helps designs come to life, but you don't have to do that if you don't want to. Like, I think even just adding the sand under it is enough sometimes. I'm just gonna slightly change the color of the sand here, and then we are going to go into adding the little lines. And you can definitely skip this step if you just want the turtle and you don't want to add the extra lines, but to do that we are going to copy the turtle design so that we have one without them and then one with them. So yeah, that's what we're doing now. I just add kind of like squiggly lines to mimic their fin movements, and of course you have to add it on the turtle, which is basically just 2-3 blocks. As long as it lines up with your design of the squiggly lines of the sand, it should work, and of course be the same colors. But yeah, this took me a couple of tries to get the shape that I wanted, so you can just copy it or do it however you would like if you want them to be more rounded or whatever you think, but this is what I ended up with. I did a little bit off camera because it was taking me so long, but really as long as you go from the lines going from darker to lighter, I just used 3 different shades of the sandy brown and then added the little triangle hearts to add more like the sand being kicked up from there. And yeah, that's it. I just did a little thing, adds a bit more to the story, you know, of them going towards the water. I don't know. But this is how the turtles ended up looking. I need more cowrie shells, which is why I only have 2. I went and looked and I could not find enough to make another shell stool. You need 5 of them each. But I used the standard brown one with the spots. I think that matches the best, but you can also use the other colors, especially if you change out the colors. Like I said, if you made a pink turtle, you could use the pink shell or the pearl one. I think that would be really cute, but I decided to use the yellow one just to make it a little bit different and show you. But yeah, now we're going to jump into a more simple design. I think we are going to be doing the classic gingham blanket. I did this in the last video as well, but this time I'm not going to be doing fringe. We're going to be doing stitching on the side, and I also do a smaller one as well. But I just think when I think of summer and I think of picnics, I think the red gingham or the checkered, however you want to say it, blanket. So we're going to go in with this pattern of 8x8 squares in the, you know how there's 4 sections on the custom design app. So we're going to do red and then pink going off the reds, and then we're going to do a kind of off-white in between there, and just repeat that throughout the 4. Just like this, and of course you can change the colors if you want. It does not have to be red and white, but that's how it looks on the sand. I'm going to copy it twice so we can make the fringe on the side. So what I did was I erased all of the squares except for one side of them. So we're going to start with the right here. So we're going to make this the translucent so it only shows the edge of the blanket, and then I'm going to go in with some gold stitching here and kind of just do 2, skip 1, 2, skip 1, 2, if that makes sense. And then I also erase it so it's only 3 wide, and then I actually change it to be a lighter pink and a darker red, and then make the stitching gold. And I think that looks just a tiny bit better as that color. So yeah, doing the gingham edge right here, and you can see how cute that is. I love it. And then I also made a tighter one, which is just the pattern but doubled in size. So I'll just show you that on the screen here if you want to copy that. But yeah, I guess you could also make stitching on the top and bottom to make it an all-around stitch blanket, but I thought that would take up too many squares. And of course, if you want to just do the gingham without the stitching on the side or fringe on the side, you can absolutely do that as well. I think it looks cute that way too, especially if you only want it to take up one slot in your custom designs. And next we are going to be doing the planks, which this one was the trickiest for me after the turtle. You can see I was trying to do a parquet one. I'm not sure if that's how you say it, but then it just didn't really make sense on the beach, so I went for classic planks instead. So whatever shade of wood you would like to use. Here I'm using dark wood because I know I will use that the most, and I also think it's easier to see this way, but if you want to change it to like a white wood or a more beachy tone, you definitely can. Yeah, I'm just adding those wood grain lines in here, and then we're gonna go in with a lighter shade of brown between those to make more shading. And you can see this is the theme here. It is really you just need a couple shades of the same color just to add dimension. I think that is the key part of pixel art. But yeah, I'm just looking back and forth from the pixel art to the little picture on the side, like I said, making sure it looks good, and adding some more highlights here now. And then I'm going in and doing an even darker brown so it looks like you can almost see through it. And I think that adds a lot, especially with the two squished on top of each other, if that makes sense. But you can stop here if you like it like this and just have the squares like that. I think that would be fine, especially if you add items on the side. But apparently I didn't like the color, so I'm going back in and changing it just slightly to look a bit better on the beach. So after I got the colors how I liked it, I'm changing this line under the dark one, or I guess you could say on top of the planks. And this is going to be the highlight line. So I'm making that a lighter brown actually, just to separate them so you can tell that they're separate planks. Yeah, I think that looks like 100 times better, just changing the color there. Alright, so like I said, you could leave it here, but I think this next step is actually pretty easy. I just go ahead and copy it so I have the same exact color palette again, but we're just going to be using one line at the top to be under the planks. We're doing like the little stands that hold up the plank so it's not directly on the beach, which makes it make more sense that there's shading in between each plank on the other ones, but we're making 3 pegs here so that they connect when we place this down. And I also do a couple of dots of lighter brown here, just so that looks like wood grain there. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to copy it again, but this time we're going to be making the left planks. And you don't have to do this, but I think this looks better as well. I'm just gonna go in and save 5 pixels on the right there, and then I'm gonna go under and delete a little bit to make it rounded on the side there. So really, you don't even have to change anything, but we do that for the left and the same thing on the right. Just keeping 5 pixels on the left and then going in and rounding it out. So I'm just deleting some of this shading here. There we go. And then for the pegs on the bottom, I also make a little corner and just keep the one on the right and the left on 2 different ones to round out the edges, but you definitely don't have to do that either. And I think that just makes it look more complete. But yeah, there we go. That is finished there. I think it's pretty cute. I like it at least. Now we are going to be making a classic summer design, a lemonade stand, of course. So first we're going to be doing, you know, the stall item. We're going to be making the little, I don't know what you call that, like the curtain on it, the banner, I don't know. But I'm starting off with this really light yellow and then this green, which I guess kind of looks like limes, but we're gonna change the green to yellow in a minute here. But yeah, I just do 4 of the light color, 4 of the green, 4 light, 4 green, and stripes here. And then we're gonna customize the stall item here, but I actually didn't have the DIY, so if you need the DIY for this, you can at least get that in resident services instead of having to look for it like the shell stool recipe. And then I also got the plain wooden shop sign, which I think I found in a DIY bottle. I'm gonna use that for the lemonade stand sign. You could also just place it as a little picture if you don't have that DIY, or use it on something else like the wedding board sign. You just have to make it a little bit smaller. But yeah, here's how it's looking. And I'm just going in here and taking away the edges of the stripes together so it looks like they're rounded. So yeah, you don't have to do this if you like the straighter look, but I think this looks pretty cute. And then here we're finally changing it to yellow. So whatever shade of yellow you like. I go with this kind of more weathered whitish yellow and then some darker yellow stripes. And yeah, I think the little curves on the bottom look adorable. And there they are together. You could definitely just do one, but I thought that was cool. It fits on top of the planks. Now we're going to be making the lemonade stand sign, and again I'm doing green, but we're going to change that. So you could do it in capital letters like me if you like, or do some lowercase ones, but this is what I'm doing. But the word fits almost perfectly here, so... And I'm not making this transparent, I'm just doing a white background here so I can change the color later. I'm gonna move the lemonade word up and then then you don't have to do this if you don't want to, but I'm making it so each lemonade drink you buy is 100 bells. So I'm just putting 100 here, and then I'm gonna draw a little bell icon instead of putting the word bells. I was gonna do the word, but then I thought just having the little picture makes sense too. So yes, to make a little bell, I'm just doing a circle with a star in it, and I make the star myself, but I think it turns out exactly how the smallest star tool is. So you could definitely do that to make it easier. So now that I have the bell little icon how I like it, I copy it to the other side, and I actually made the 100 again, but more centered there. And I took away the bells part, and now I'm just changing the colors to how I think they would look good. So the background I'm actually making yellow and making the lemonade sign more dark, so it looks like someone wrote it in marker. And yeah, look how cute that looks. I just added a little bit of shading here. And also that classic picture has a little lemonade custom design on it. So that's one of the basic ones you should get in the beginning of the game. I'm pretty sure everyone gets it, or you can unlock it at Nook's Cranny. But yeah, I like that one. It's really cute. And then since we were doing a sign, I thought we would do another one. And I'm just gonna do caution high surf. You could do caution high waves, caution sharks, yikes. But yeah, I'm just doing that here, and I'm using like bright colors because I like to do that so you can see it, but then I change the colors with the change color tool on top right. But yeah, to make it more centered, I changed the color, and I'm just gonna make pink the color of the background so I don't have to erase it all. But yeah, we're doing high surf advisory. And then I'm gonna add little waves on the bottom there. And you could put like the surfboard there that you can buy during the summer in Nook's Cranny. Or even you could do a no diving sign. I have seen those a couple times. Those are really cute. Yeah, you can see I'm just changing the pink there so I didn't have to redo the high surf again. And I'm gonna make the R's look not like A's. And then here's the little waves. Just needed them to be a little bit more centered here. And there we go. Very much like a lifeguard sign as well, almost, so you could put the lifeguard item out too. I really like how those waves came out as well. But there we go. I'm actually going to put that by the pier. I thought that was fitting. And next we are going to be doing a stone DIY here. Huh? DIY? A stone custom design. And we actually did this in the first one as well, but I did a more classic looking stones. This time we're doing one in the shape of a fish, so you could definitely do this or any other shape you would like, or just, you know, normal rocks. But really the only thing is you just need to have the shading and the highlighting like we've been doing this whole time. So I'm going in with a dark gray, and then I'd go in with an even darker gray and do an ombre from the bottom up. And then you definitely need highlights on the rocks. I think it makes them look more rounded. So we're adding some even lighter gray on the top of the fish here. And I was going to do an eyeball, but I actually decided against that. That's why there's that little square there. And then an even lighter gray again. And this is one of the ones I looked at the left too, because again, if the colors are almost the same, they won't blend well. So yeah, just make sure you're looking back and forth at that. Then I'm adding some darker bits in the middle. Just think that makes it look a bit more realistic, and adding some shading to those as well. And then you can stop here if you would like to, but I'm gonna take away a little bit on the edges to make it look like it's buried in the sand a little bit, since I'm using this on the sand. You could definitely use this on the grass as well. You just might need to tweak the colors a little bit. And just like anything else, you can make this a different color. It could be a painted rock, I don't know. But yeah, I'm just adding some grass now. You definitely don't need to do this, but I think for the beach, this is really cute. It looks like almost like moss is growing on it, or like seaweed is stuck on it or something. So I'm just adding that on the outside, and then a little bit in the middle as well. It looks like it got stuck in the little crevices of the rock. And I do a dark green, and then I also add a little bit of a lighter green. I don't really know if that makes a big difference, but I like to do that. So if you'd like to, you can. Especially on the bottom, I do a dark green and then lighter green going off of that one. See how this looks on the sand? Yeah, I think the moss adds a lot. So cute. Now we are going to be doing some shells. We're going to add a little starfish, and I just use the medium star from the tool on the right there. And I go in with the pink, and then I'm adding some shading there, or some highlighting actually. And now I'm going to add some shading there to make it a little bit more three-dimensional. And I really liked doing this because shells can be almost anything, especially with the colors. You can have a lot of fun depending on your theme. You can make them more natural, more pretty, more kidcore. You know, I'm just doing a classic pink starfish, and then I think I make that scallop shell blue. And then I'm adding the brown underneath them as well to be the sand, like they're stuck in the sand a little bit. I think adding the sand helps it pop out of the ground so you can see it a bit better. Now we are doing the scallop shell, and yes, I changed it to blue, and I just start with a square and I round out the edges that I want it to be facing. So we're going towards the top left, and I just, making the little, not fins, but fins on the shell. I don't know what those are called. And then I'm going straight away in with the sand to help me visualize what I'm doing here. This actually it was kind of tricky for me. I don't know why the shell was giving me such a hard time. But yeah, I'm just going in with different shades of blue to help bring it in, or I guess bring it out of the sand to help it pop. Then adding some lines in the middle there. And then I moved it all up so I could add another shell here. And yeah, I went with kind of actually a cowrie shell, and that's just like brown stripes really. And then I copied the shell design and I moved them around again, and I'm making another scallop shell but facing a different way, so I have more than one shell custom design to mix and match. And oh, I also added the sand shade and polka dots in the background with a lighter sand shade as well, and I think that helps it look like it's kind of being washed up on the beach almost, but I don't know, you don't have to do that, but I think it looks cute. And I'm going to be making this one a more pink kind of coral color. Oh yes, you cannot forget the sand. But now that I have another one that I like, I copied it a third time, and I'm just going to be having 2 shells this time. So I left that pink scallop there, and I'm adding one more, but this time I'm making it a little bit, I was going to say bigger, but I think it's actually almost the same size. This is like the first one we did, except facing the opposite way, and I'm going to be making this one purple, which is my favorite, so I really like this one. Just adding some low lights and highlights here, some shading, and then gonna change the colors. You can definitely leave it blue, you can make it yellow, I don't know, maybe not yellow. Yellow might not blend in with the sand, but I don't know. Speaking of sand, of course, adding the sand shading here, and then I'm gonna add more of the dots on the side here after I change the shell to purple, like I said. So cute. Yes, here are the little dots, just 2 different shades of brown here, kind of space them out a little bit, and I think having different variations makes it better. But yeah, I like the little dots, but you can definitely leave those out. Okay, and now we're going into kind of a more silly one. So this I'm doing kind of like it's cursive in the sand. I wanted it to be like a villager or someone went like, like Tad was here or Callie was here, and put a little heart under it or something. So that's what I'm doing. You can literally make any shape you want. You could do the outline of, I don't know, a bear, or you could just do a heart like I did. I'll show you the heart here if you'd like to copy it as well. As long as you add in a lighter shade of sand and then an even, well, I don't even think I do an even lighter one here. I think I just do the dark one and then add in the lighter one like it's dug into the wet sand, so it's a bit of a different shade. And yeah, that one's just a bit of fun. And then this last one was an idea I had of dropped sunglasses in the sand. So I just make a little slanted line here and make a little sunglass shape. Can't really go wrong with it. I think the only thing is you need to make the arms of the glasses look okay for the perspective here. And then add the little sand on the bottom. And you can actually keep this green if you'd like it to be grass. And I'm just coloring it in, and I'm gonna make it like a gray pair of sunglasses. And then I'm just gonna add a highlight on the bottom to make it look like, the sun may be shining off of it and it's giving off a glare. I just do a lighter color than the one I did it in the middle. And I'm putting a bit more sand onto the glasses to make it look like it's, kind of stuck in there for a while. And a bit more shading on the arms as well. But yeah, those are all the designs I did today. Let me know which one is your favorite, and share some pictures with me if you decide to do these yourself, and let me know if you'd like to see anything else. I am definitely not one of the amazing artists that are on Animal Crossing, so if you do have Nintendo Online, I don't know if you'd want these, but I will share the code of all of them if you'd like. Otherwise, definitely feel free to copy, change, use whatever you see in this video. Make it your own, or just copy it pixel by pixel, I don't mind. But yeah, that is the tutorial here. We're going to take a closer look at all these. So here is the little stones with the caution high surf advisory, the little picnic in the back. I love the little fish stone so much with the shells around it. I think that's so cute. And I definitely like the gingham blanket with more squares on it than less. Here is a little lemonade stand using the stand DIY recipe from Nook Miles. And then the little lemonade classic picture I think is adorable. And of course, my favorite would have to be the little turtles here. It just looks so cinematic with the waves going up to it. It's so cute. It's so summery too. I love it. But yeah, that is going to be it for today. I hope that you all enjoyed it and that you found it helpful. If you did, please hit like and subscribe. I would super appreciate it. And yeah, I hope that you have a fantastic rest of your day. And I will see you in the next one. Bye, everybody.